Hello everyone, this is Dev from Board Game Barbecue.
Hi, I'm Mitch.
Hey, I'm Jules.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Adrian.
Hi, I'm Dan.
Hi, I'm Connor.
Hi, I'm Mike.
And welcome to the third annual Board Game Barbecue Awards.
Awards.
Hey guys, and welcome to the third annual Board Game Barbecue Awards. The award ceremony where we celebrate the best games of 2022 as nominated by our Board Game Barbecue community and as voted on by our Patreons. And this year we've done something a little bit different. We've recruited some friends of the show to help us introduce each segment. So without further ado, let's give away the first award.
Hey everyone, we're the Board Game Gateway podcast crew. I'm Neva.
I'm Blake.
I'm Matt.
I'm Damien. I'm Ralph.
And we're absolutely thrilled to introduce the Best Light Game Award category for this year's Board Game Barbecue Awards.
Here on the Board Game Gateway podcast, our goal is to introduce people to the wonderful world of gaming through the medium of light or gateway games. For instance, some of the gateway games we have here are absolute bangers such as Sushi Go, The Crew, personal favourite of mine, Anomia is another big one in my family. Blake, Matt, Neve, Ralph, what are some of your favourite gateway games?
I mean, obviously, my favourite one is Cockroach Poker, the number one rated game on our podcast, so I think it absolutely deserves to be there. Blake?
Mate, I've got to go with the Mind. It's simple, it's easy, quick, and it's a great challenge.
Matt?
Probably Llama, ultimately, because I play with my kids.
Yeah, I love kites personally because there's little special rules and we can house rule it. When the aeroplane card comes out, we sing the I Love Aeroplane Jelly song and it's just hilarious.
We're not going to sing it now.
But what constitutes a small board game? Does it only have 3 dice? Is it only got half the calories of a larger box game? We're going to discuss that right now. For me, it comes down to how quick you can learn a game. Can you pick it up in 5 minutes? Then it's a light game. What about you, Blake?
About yay big, under 100 grams.
Under 100 grams. That's good.
Physically light. I like that one. That's really good. For me, it has to be a game that you can play within half an hour. Time is of the essence in today's busy world.
Yeah, for me, I think it has to be not Frosthaven.
That's a great example.
Fair cop. For me, it has to be something that I can introduce to my kids. So anything that I can put in front of them and they enjoy, I'll generally use a light game.
Well, guys, enough of the light banter or the not so light banter.
Oh, God.
No, we're here tonight for something quite important, very dear to all our hearts, and that's to find out the nominations for the best light board game of this year, the Board Game Barbecue Awards. Isn't that exciting?
We've got 5 great light games here for Best Light Game for 2022, and it's a really sad thing that only one of them can take home the award. But remember, it's not the size of the box that counts, it's the fun times that you have with it. So from all of us here at the Board Game Gateway podcast, we'd like to hand it back over to the Board Game Barbecue crew to present this year's Best Light Game for 2022.
And the nominees for the best light game are Caesar Rome in 20 Minutes by designer Paulo Mauri, publisher PCS Games UK. Cat in the Box, designer Mononuki Yokuchi, publisher Bezier Games. My Shelfie by designer Phil Walker Harding, Matt Dunstan, publisher Cranio Creations. Splendor Jewel by designer Mark Andre and Bruno Cathala, publisher Space Cowboys. And Foundations of Rome, designer Emerson Matsuchi, publisher Arcane Wonders. And the winner of the best light games is Cat in the Box.
The team behind the Cat in the Box can't be here tonight, but they have sent us this message.
From myself and everyone at Bezier Games, thank you so much for the award for Best Light Game of the Year for Cat in the Box. We appreciate it, and we love it too.
Hi everybody, we're Amy and Maggie from Thinkathema, and we are so delighted to be part of the awards and introducing the next award category, which is
medium weight games. Not light. I
Not
don't know why
light
this is
games.
light. This is light for some reason. Not heavy, but medium.
medium, the ones right in the middle. The ones that represent probably 80-90% of the gaming category because there's a lot in the middle. There's a big range in the middle.
Yeah.
Everything from true gateway mid-weight games through to now you're on the edge of like being able to tackle.
Now you're flirting with a 3-hour gaming sesh.
So,
Yeah, I would actually be interested to know. But yeah, I actually have no idea if because you see a lot of small light games, but I wonder if the middle are actually the bulk.
Well, look, the Board Game Barbecue gave us a great definition, which was not quite a filler and not quite Twilight Imperium.
I mean, we're talking extreme.
I mean, that's most of our games. But I actually think there is quite a broad range within this category.
Yes.
So I'm really interested to see who wins.
Yes.
And we love this category because it is really the slippery slope that gets your friends seriously into board games. You know, you've got those friends that they love a filler game, but they kind of stay in that filler realm.
Yeah.
They love a party game.
And you can tell that they're not interested in going any further. And you're
No.
like, okay. But then there's the other friends.
Then there's the other friends that start looking at the bigger boxes and they're like,
what is that one?
tell me about this one. And you try to hide your excitement.
You're like, let me tell you. Come on in.
You're like, that's nothing. Maybe we could give it a go one day. And then you start easing them in. And then all of a sudden, before they know it, they are in the heavyweight category playing a 4-hour game with you.
We've got another official player for the playing group.
Yes.
the best.
So we love this category. And actually, most of our collection would fit this kind of 1 hour to 90-minute game range with, a few interesting mechanics, but not too complex rules.
And hopefully good theme.
Yes, and a good theme. And I hope that's enough of an introduction to tell you about this category that is hard to define. We'd now like to hand over to the wonderful Sarah, who's going to present the award. So over to you, Sarah.
Okay, the nominees for Best Medium Game are Carnegie, designer Javier Georges, artist Ian O'Toole, publisher Quind Games, Dead Reckoning, designer John D. Clare, artist Ian O'Toole, publisher Alderac Entertainment, Endless Winter Paleo-Americans, designer Stan Kordinsky, artist The Miko, publisher Fantasia Board Games, Libertalia, Winds of Galecrest, designer Paolo Mori, artist Lamaro Smith, publisher Stonemaier Games, and Planet Unknown, designer Ryan Lambert, Adam Reberg, artist Yoma, and publisher is Adam's Apple Games. And the winner is... Carnegie! Woo! Designer Javier Georges, artist Ian O'Toole, and publisher Quind Games.
Hi, this is Arno Quispel of Quind Games. I want to thank the Board Game Barbecue podcast a lot for choosing Carnegie as the winner of the Best Medium Game for 2022. Both the designer, Xavier George, and myself really appreciate this. Keep up the good work and stay safe. Thanks.
Hi, my name's Paul Grogan from the YouTube channel Gaming Rules. You may remember me from such videos as How to Play Textile Merchant and the top 10 biscuits to have with your board game. I'm here to introduce the award for the best heavy game of 2023. And when I say 2023, I really mean 2022. And the nice people over at the Board Game Barbecue podcast have asked me to introduce this video to first talk about what exactly is a heavy game. Now, everybody has their own definitions of what a heavy game is, similar to the terms weight, complexity, depth, and things like that. These are all words that when you start discussing them with people, everybody will have their own definitions of what they are. I'm going to tell you now the actual correct answer, in other words, my opinion of it, and that is, well, it's actually quite complicated. Now, thankfully, we have Board Game Geek, and Board Game Geek, as well as the actual rating of the game, which is just what people vote for, how well they like the game, and it's debatable whether those ratings are accurate or not, but also on Board Game Geek is a weight rating, and this is a weight rating out of 5, and I personally find that those ratings are fairly accurate once a game has come out. Of course, if you look at anything that's only had 3 people voting for it, it's not going to be accurate. And what Board Game BBQ have done this year is that they have said that the weight rating of a game must be, according to Board Game Geek, 4.0 or above. Now, 4.0 is a pretty heavy game in my opinion. So we've talked about weight and we've talked about heavy games. Are they the same thing? I mean, if we look at the meaning of the actual words, then yes, they are. And I personally think they are the same. I've also mentioned words such as depth. Now, depth is a different type of thing. If we take, for example, chess. Is chess a heavy game? Well, it depends on your definition of the word heavy, but does it have a lot of depth? Yes, chess has a huge amount of depth, which is why people are still playing it now. Chess has a relatively simple rule set, but it's got a lot of depth. So for me, depth is a different meaning to heavy and the weight of a game. So what is a heavy game? Well, I was having to think about this and I came up with an idea. And I thought, well, for me, how heavy a game is depends on a number of factors. First of all, it's the size of the rulebook, but not always, because you get some rulebooks that are way bigger than they need to be, and how long it would take you to teach a game to that person in full from start to finish. And I kind of put a line in the sand and said, okay, if it's going to take me 30 minutes or more to teach you this game from start to finish, then it's a heavy game. That's about it. That's my definition of it. Anyway, I've blabbed enough. I'm going to hand over to my good friend Def of the Board Game BBQ podcast to introduce the winner of the Best Heavy Game 2023.
Hello, this is Def, and this is the award for Best Heavy Game of 2022. The nominees are John Company 2nd Edition, designed by Cole Worley and published by Worley Geek Games. Perseverance Castaway Chronicles Episodes 1 and 2, designed by Richard Amann, Thomas van de Ginst, Victor Peter, Wolf Planke and David Turzi, and published by Mindclash Games. The Smoky Valley, designed by Claude Sirois and published by Spielworks. And Weather Machine, designed by Vitala Serda and published by Eagle Griffin Games. And the winner is... Best Heavy Game of the Year, the winner is Weather Machine, designed by Vitala Serda, art by Ian O'Toole and published by Eagle Griffin Games. Well, the team behind Weather Machine couldn't be here with us tonight, but the designer of Weather Machine, Vitala Serda, has sent us this message.
Hey guys, I'm sending this message to thank you for the award for the best heavy game on the BBQ crew. I really appreciate that you played the game and liked it so much to attribute me the prize of that is an honor. Thank you very much. So I would like to read you something just to thank you for the award, okay? So I want to express my deepest gratitude to Board Game BBQ for awarding Weather Machine as the best heavy game. This recognition means the world to me and the entire team behind the creation of this game. We put our hearts and souls into this crafting and immersive and challenging experience. And it's truly humbling to see our efforts and knowledge. Thank you very much for this incredible honor. It motivates us to continue pushing the boundaries of board gaming. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Hey everybody, my name is Martin Gonzalez, and I am a print and play gamer. I'm the admin of the Print and Play Hideaway group on Facebook. I'm also a very avid solo gamer. I have been for many years. And I would, first of all, like to say that I'm very thrilled, very excited that Board Game Barbecue has asked me to be a part of this event and to give me the opportunity to introduce a topic that's very, very close to my heart. And that topic is solo gaming. If we go way back to the year of 2017, I actually wasn't a gamer at all. I, kind of thought that I had left all of that back when I was in school. And then when I started working, I just, didn't have time for games. It just kind of fell away from my consciousness. And, so it wasn't until my oldest son started coming home from his school and bringing hobby board games with him and trying to share them with me and his other siblings, and trying to get us interested in playing these games, right? So anyway, it didn't really catch until he brought a game called, and I just happen to have it here, Eldritch Horror. So, and if you're not familiar with Eldritch Horror, this is a game set in what's called the Cthulhu mythos, which I'm very, very fond of. Back when I was in school, I was an avid gamer of the Cthulhu RPG, role-playing game, which was put out by a company called Chaosium back in the day. And so when my son introduced me to Eldritch Horror and I started getting into it, I realized that this was kind of like a board game version of a world-spanning Call of Cthulhu adventure set in the 1920s, which is my favorite genre, my favorite era. Just a lot of like two-fisted, hard-boiled kind of, investigators and spies and researchers and librarians and all this stuff. And I was just, I couldn't believe that this game existed. I was very excited. I was super into it. And this is a game that has a lot of mini stories, mini vignettes, which I really love. At the time, I really, really liked story-driven gaming. And so it ticked a lot of boxes for me. And this really was the game that kicked off my being involved with hobby gaming. And I was more of an American-style gamer early in my solo gaming career. And I didn't know about these Euro games. I didn't know what that was about. They seemed kind of foreign to me until, so the middle part of my journey is I learned of and tried a game called Newton, which is totally a Euro game. The mechanisms in this game are essentially worker placement, which at the time, I didn't know anything about. I hadn't played a worker placement game. And then I tried this, and it's designed by a gentleman named Nestor Mangoni and Simone Luciani. And this became my introduction, my gateway game, if you will, to the whole world of like mid-weight Euro game designers. And I started looking into a lot of Mr. Luciani's games, Grand Austria Hotel, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, and I realized as I played them, wow, I actually like this stuff. Who knew? I didn't realize. And so it opened up a whole new world for me of like Euro games and a lot of worker placement. And so the middle part of my journey into solo gaming was that I started to focus on mid-weight Euro games, lots of worker placement, and I'm kind of still in that mode right now. So Newton was my gateway into that world. And then when the pandemic hit, there was one mid-weight Euro game that really was something that was my constant companion and kept me sane, and I played it so many times as a solo gamer during the pandemic. And there's just a quality about this game that I find really relaxing and soothing. And it's called, let me show you what the game is. It's called Lost Ruins of Arnak. So this is probably, if you ask me right now, what's the solo game that I feel that I could just put on the table and play it and lose myself for a couple of hours 90 minutes to 2 hours. There's just something about this game. It's something that I feel that even today I could place on the table and play a session and have a good time with it. So Lost Ruins of Arnak takes me to the end of the current state, not the end, but the current state of my solo gaming journey. So I hope that you've enjoyed my little personal solo gaming journey. And speaking of solo gaming, I'd like to hand it off to someone on Board Game Barbecue who knows a little bit about solo gaming, and that would be Connor, to talk about the best solo game category. So Connor, take it away.
The nominees for Best Solo Game are Burn Cycle, designer Josh J. Carlson and Shannon Wedge, published by Chip Theory Games. ISS Vanguard, designer Andrei Bitkovich, publisher Awaken Realms. Paperback Adventures, designer Tim Fowers, published by Fowers Games. Resist, designer Dave Thompson, Trevor Benjamin and Roger Tankersley, publisher Salt and Pepper Games. Three Sisters, designed by Ben Pinchback and Matt Riddle, published by 25th Century Games. And finally, Turing Machine, designed by Fabian Gradell and Jon Levitt, publisher Scorpion Mask. And the winner is ISS Vanguard. ISS Vanguard, designer Andrei Bitkovich, publisher Awaken Realms. The team behind ISS Vanguard can't be here tonight, so we accept the award on their behalf.
Hello, we're Nerds of the West, your friendly Australian playthroughers on Twitch, YouTube, and anywhere else that you like to experience games. Today, we are here to induct you into the cult of party games, because it doesn't matter how many people you have around, it's always a party when you're playing board games. But if you want to play at a higher player count, party games are where it's at. So, my name is Tom, we have a Rebecca.
Hello.
We have a Callum.
How are we doing?
Guys, what do you look for in a party game?
It needs to be easy to bring to the table.
And it needs to support quite a few people.
But there's also a really great experience to be had with games that are just played at a higher player count. They're not necessarily party games, but honestly, once you got like 8 or 9 people at a table, you're having a bit of a party. I'm personally a huge fan of games like, oh, here we go, Bristol, Salem, games that are great at a higher player count. They don't necessarily fit into the role of party games, it's more social deduction, but social deduction games can be some of my favourite party games that exist. How about you? Is there anything in particular that you've been loving?
Stuff like, where are we? Skull. A little bit easier to learn than Bristol, these ones.
Definitely a different player count as well.
Definitely.
That only goes up to 6?
6, I believe, which still, 6 at a party is still a solid party.
It's a great game though, because you can also just trade people out. So if you're at a party, no one likes sitting in the same place for too long. They have to go out and socialize. Skull is perfect because you can go, all right, this round is over. I'm going to put my stuff down. You, over there looking at me, come step in for me. It's easy to pick up and it's easy to put down.
But that's why I love games like Phantom Inc., where anyone can jump in at any point and it doesn't change the feeling of the game. You don't have to teach anything new. The game can continue just as it is. In this game, there are 2 ghosts who can't talk. They can only communicate through writing 1 letter at a time, like a Ouija board. But if someone in the party jumps in, then they can just go, oh, I'm on this team now. What questions have you asked? What words have we got half the information of? And they're already up to speed. It takes 30 seconds to teach, and then honestly, some of the best laughs I've had of any game.
Another easy one that I like to have at a party is Telestrations, because just like Phantom Inc., you can jump in and jump out as you please.
Also, some of the most hilarity I've ever seen in a board game, and a game that absolutely anyone can play. This is the After Dark version, which points you towards a few spicy things, but honestly, you can just come up with anything you want, start drawing, and then someone else has got to guess what you can draw.
But then the real comedy of it comes down to someone's ability to decipher what's been drawn, someone's ability to draw, and then even sometimes their ability to write, because it literally has to go to every single person at the table, and it's never, ever the same.
Not pointing any fingers.
Oh my God, just
my God. Anyway,
so
I'm going to
bad.
ignore that. Getting active, getting up and about at parties can be a whole lot of fun. I'm a big fan of the old Happy Salmons. I highly recommend getting this and the second colour of it if you can still get your hands on it, because you can have up to 8 people just high-fiving, happy salmoning, flopping places, running around the table. But in that same, not quite dexterity game, but you're using your hands, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza.
Yes.
If you want a game that...
It is Snap the card game, but it's more than just playing cards. It is everybody goes around the table. Taco, cat, goat, cheese, pizza. As you lay cards, if you say the word for the card you play, you have to snap. Last person that snaps gets the pile.
But then you got some special cards, so you're going to mess with people's minds. They got ones that change colour just to mess with people's minds anymore. It's incredibly easy to play. But I think that's what I love about party games at the end of the day. They ride that line between activating your brain, having you have a good time, and just so easy to play that anyone can pick up. And if you're having a few drinks, having a few people around, you're guaranteed to have some laughs. Speaking of laughs and some absolutely amazing people, I'm going to throw now to Party Game Master Mike for the best party game of 2022. See ya.
Today, for Best Party Game, the nominees are Long Shot the Dice Game by Chris Handy and publisher Perplex Games. Ready, Set, Bet, designer John DeClaire, publisher Alderac Entertainment. Feed the Kraken, designer Michael Cheney, Hans Joachim Ho, and Tobias Image, publisher Funtails. Gimme That, designer Dave Campbell, publisher Dolphin Hat Games. And the winner is... What? And the best party game is Ready, Set, Bet by John DeClaire and Alderac Entertainment. The team behind Ready, Set, Bet can't be here tonight, but the designer John DeClaire has sent us this message.
Well, it's very cool for Ready, Set, Bet to be nominated and win a Board Game Barbecue Award. It's always meaningful to know people are playing and getting joy from something I created, so pretty cool. I guess I'll take the opportunity to do the Oscars thing and thank a few folks. First, the creative designers and team behind Camel Up, which was the main game that inspired this idea and informed some of the aspects of the design. I wanted to thank Alex Haig of CMYK Games. He and I had some really interesting and useful brainstorming emails on related game ideas. John Zenzer, of course, the owner of AEG, always given his support and trust to games I've designed. Kirk Buckendorf, the developer, who did a great job putting all the graphics together, getting the final product done, getting the rules together, and without a doubt, and definitely not least of all of the great playtesters who are always contributing to my designs. Too many to name here, but they always deserve thanks for all the games I make.
Hey everybody, I'm Melanie.
And I'm Carla.
And we are the Board Game Specialist from Canada.
Hello.
So we are introducing artwork in board games. It's important.
Yes, we love beautiful games.
Yes.
We also love good games, but artwork is a big part for us as well.
So we were asked to talk about our favorite game with artwork, and well, if you've watched our podcast at all, the Board Game Specialists, you know we don't do top 1, we do top 9. So we did a top 9, but we'll share the top 1 here. Carla, do you want to talk about your game?
My favorite artwork in a game is in Meadow. And I absolutely love the artwork in this. It is so beautiful. It's like a watercolor kind of finish but so many different animals and plants and flowers, and it's just so pretty. This is my number 1.
The amount of work that went into Meadow is unreal. My number 1 is a game that I bought on artwork alone. I walked past it and stopped and looked at it and I'm like, wow, I need this game. Turns out it's an amazing game as well, and that's Ashes: Rise of the Phoenix Born. The cards in this game are so vibrant. Everything stands out so much. It's a beautiful, beautiful game. Without further ado, let's see who the winner is for the best artwork in board games.
Over to you, Jules. Bye for now.
Bye.
And the nominees for Best Artwork are Endless Winter, Paleo-Americans, designer Stan Kodonsky, artist Miko Yoma, publisher Fantasia Board Games, Flamecraft, designer Manny Vega, artist Sandra Tang, and publisher Cardboard Alchemy, Merchants of the Dark Road, designer Brian Shaw, artist Andrew Bosley, Joey Julian, Matt Paquette, and co. Publisher is Elf Creek Games, and Weather Machine, designer Vital Lacerda, and artist Ian O'Toole, with the publisher being Eagle Griffin Games. And lastly, Wonderland's War, designer Tim Eisner, Ben Eisner, and Ian Moss, artist Manny Tremblay, with publisher Druid City Games. And the winner is... Weather Machine, designer Vital Lacerda.
Hello Board Game Barbecue, it's Ian O'Toole here. I'm very honoured to accept the award for Best Artwork in 2022 for Weather Machine. Thank you so much to everyone that nominated and voted, and to everyone for their continued support that I receive from my work. It's very humbling. Weather Machine is the 8th game that I've created with designer Vital Lacerda, and the 7th with publisher Eagle Griffin Games. So I'd also like to say thank you to Vital and to Rick and Randall at Eagle Griffin for placing so much trust in me with just all of these projects. And also to all the playtesters who give up a lot of time to playtest my terrible prototypes. Weather Machine is the first game that I've created with Vital that has really allowed me to explore a fantastical setting. And it allowed me to draw on a lot of creative influences that are very important to me and that I don't often get to apply. So in particular, you'll find references to the works of Studio Ghibli, including Howl's Moving Castle and Porco Rosso and a few more. And also to Katsuhiro Otomo's Akira, which has been an enormous inspiration to me. And also to Kate Bush, which I'm very happy about. So again, thank you to everybody at the Board Game Barbecue and to all of the listeners who voted for Weather Machine. Thank you.
G'day there, I'm Garth, and for legal reasons, I can't tell you the name of the podcast that I represent. So there's a little trademark going on around Australia's best and most popular tabletop podcast. Now we're here to discuss the best expansions in the Board Game Barbecue 2023 awards. Now, as Leon always says, the best expansion...
Whoa, I am here, you know.
Oh, sorry, I never noticed.
Yes, no, I'm standing here. Yes, the best expansions are when you take a game that's hopefully already good and then you add just more of what makes it good, but adds a little bit of extra flavour, maybe a little bit of extra variety into the mix, and these games that we're about to talk about definitely go into that category. Isn't that right, old fella?
Hey, I'm not that much older.
Hey, hang on. I am here, you know. Now, everyone knows board games are very expensive, and expansions, they just add more life, more fun, more of everything to our favourite board games, which means we can play them for longer and we don't have to buy new ones, right?
Absolutely, and that's fantastic. Now, we'd be a little bit remiss to say that, as Leon always says, an expansion makes the original that much better. Now, as possibly the original Australian tabletop podcast, I'm best in the Southern Hemisphere that for legal reasons we can't mention.
No.
We just want to say that to this particular podcast, you're a great expansion. Thanks.
And now, over to you, Mitch.
So this is Mitch from the Board Game Barbecue, and everything I learned from the Dice Men Cometh. Okay, so the nominations for the best expansion game are Dune Imperium Immortality, designer Paul Denon, publisher Direwolf. Dune Imperium Rise of Ix, designer Paul Denon, publisher Direwolf. Wingspan Asia, designer Elizabeth Hargraves, publisher Stonemaier Games. Viticulture World, designer Mihir Sa Francesco Testini, publisher Stonemaier Games. Meadow Downstream, designers Clemens Kalicki and publisher Rebel Studios. And the winner of Best Expansion Game is... Dune Imperium Rise of Ix, designer Paul Denon, publisher Direwolf.
Hey, Board Game Barbecue, it's Nikki, Deborah, Dave, and Lincoln from Game Night, and we are here to talk about Game of the Year, because it's a big deal. I mean, Game of the Year, right? It's the biggest game in theory. I mean, and I don't even know what makes a Game of the Year, you guys. What do you think?
No, I always like a clever puzzly element, like the initiative.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was fun.
that would be a Game of the Year for me.
Yeah.
Nikki P?
I like it, the replayability.
Okay.
Sure.
Something that you can play
Something
over and over
different
again.
all the time when
Yeah?
you play it.
I like the game to look really good.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's
Good
a big deal
art.
to me. Good art is really important to me.
I would say the games that I like the most, that I wish would actually win awards more, are card games.
Card games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Bonanza, which I played again last week for the first time in a long time, and it's so good. And you know I love Tishu. But, you know, those games don't ever win Game of the Year for me. They sometimes do, right?
Sure.
So those are games I like.
Maybe the Board Game Barbecue will pick a good card game. You never
Maybe.
know.
Yeah?
Should we find out?
All right, let's find out. So let's find out from Board Game Barbecue's Dan, who is going to tell us the Game of the Year for 2022.
Sweet.
Okay, here we are for the big one, Game of the Year. And the nominees are Carnegie, designer Xavier Georges, publisher Quind Games. Dead Reckoning, designer John D. Clare, publisher Alderac Entertainment. Endless Winter, Paleo Americans, designer Stan Kordinsky, publisher Fantasia Board Games. Foundations of Rome, designer Emerson Masucci, publisher Arcane Wonders. John Company, 2nd edition, designer Cole Worley, publisher Whirligig Games. And Planet Unknown, designer Ryan Lambert and Adam Rayberg, publisher Adams Apple Games. And the winner of Game of the Year is John Company, 2nd edition, designer Cole Worley, publisher Whirligig Games. The team behind John Company 2nd edition can't be here tonight, but the designer Cole Worley has sent us this message.
Hi, my name is Cole Worley, and I'm the lead designer of John Company 2nd Edition. It's my honor to accept this award on behalf of my brother, the co-owner of the company, and the whole team who helped produce John Company, including Amita, Amarji, Yannick, and our veritable legion of playtesters over on the Whirligig Discord, who throughout the pandemic labored through dozens and dozens of less than good versions of the game and helped create the thing that is on your table. I give playtesters get credits in rulebooks, and I wish I could give them box credits and just paste their names all over the place, because they are an instrumental part of this process, and without them, the game wouldn't be half as good as it is. John Company is a strange game, and I'm sort of delighted to see it win the Board Game Barbecue Game of the Year award, because I think one thing I love about your podcast is how it combines quite serious and robust discussions with moments of real silliness. And that's John Company. John Company is a deeply, deeply serious thing that isn't afraid to laugh at itself and to think about the absurdity that underlies so much of the story that it has to tell. John Company is also the kind of game that isn't designed to win awards. It's a game that was built because we wanted to build it. It wasn't a game anybody asked us for. And I am so honored to see it recognized in this way, because it's more air beneath our wings. It tells people, like, go out, make that strange game that you're not sure if anybody wants, just because you want to see it in the world. And I think if more people did that, we'd have more wonderful, strange games out there. So again, on behalf of everyone at Whirligig, and certainly for myself and my brother's part, thank you so much for this award. We are deeply honored to receive it, and I'm looking forward to the next year of your podcast too. Bye.
Tell us. We'll have none of this in bloody here, I tell you.
Oh, come on.
Get out.
It's
Get out.
just a podcast. They're from Tassie.